Let's call it out. Let's call out why that happens, though. It's simply money, and it's the supplement industry. There's a lot of money. Yeah, it's marketing. There's a lot of money made on leaky gut this and this leaky gut book and this leaky gut protocol and this leaky gut practitioner. The problem is you could take all these leaky gut supports for a decade and never treat the infections. Like if you just went and did, like you mentioned, glutamine, and we hit the zinc carnosine and the DGL, and we did the aloe, like we talked about in the beginning, none of those are going to erase a blastocystis hominis parasite infection. None of those are going to get rid of Giardia. None of those are going to treat the H. pylori. They may help, but they're definitely not going to eradicate the issue causing the leaky gut in the first place. So that's just marketing. It's money involved in this. And, you know, as practitioners, I think it's really smart of you to call it out like that, because it is frustrating for us, because we'll look on a new client or a new patient's intake form and they'll be taking all these quote leaky gut supplements. Yeah, I found this leaky gut protocol online and I still have all these digestive problems. And it's like, well, yeah, look at your stool test. You have all these issues, and you could do that for 20 years and never fix it. So I could rant on that all day.
Yeah. Other thing I would just say out of the gates is it's okay to palliatively support the leaky gut. We just have to make sure when you're palliatively supporting something, we're also root cause supporting it as well. Root cause fixing it, palliative support, totally fine, right? Nothing wrong with that. We just got to call a spade and not pretend the palliative leaky gut support is root cause support.
Yeah.
As long as we can do that, then I think we're pretty good. Next thing I would highlight out of the gates, and you see this herb being listed as being very helpful for the gut permeability, but it's also very helpful on the adrenals. So that's licorice. And so when we use licorice, there's a lot of licorice being used in leaky gut supports that's deglycerized. And this is the glycerized component of the licorice is pulled out. And the glycerized component of the licorice is the component that slows the breakdown of cortisol. I think it's the 11 beta hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase 2 enzyme. The licorice inhibits that enzyme. That's the enzyme that helps break down cortisol. So we know cortisol, too low, we need healthy levels of cortisol to actually build up the gut lining. It helps with building up the gut lining. Of course, if our cortisol levels are too high and we're chronically stressed, right, that can also break down the gut lining. We know that with people that are chronically stressed getting ulcers, right? We know that as well. And so when we look at licorice, it really helps with cortisol improvement. So if we do a cortisol test and we see chronically low cortisol, that can actually help with the gut lining, with the mucosa, with the stomach, with the duodenum. And that can actually help with the cortisol and bringing that back up. And that can help build back up that gut lining. And so we like licorice that's non-deglycerized for the gut. And non-deglycerized licorice, we give it typically orally, sublingually to our patients. That will eventually trickle downstream to the gut as well. And so licorice can be a powerful thing. You just have to be careful if you're giving a non-deglycerized version to people that have already higher level of cortisol. That may make things worse. So we just got to make sure we're testing that to know what kind of pattern we're seeing.
Yeah, that's a good point.